17, and you said something fun about today?
Something that you're excited about for today.
Um, Probably get to play some tennis today. I like tennis a lot, so I get to
Oh,
practice some today.
nice. I also played tennis in high school.
Oh, really?
Wasn't that good, but I played yesterday with my friends, so that's
Oh,
been
yeah.
fun. Yeah. Um, okay. So besides tennis, what do you feel like is an activity you really enjoyed doing outside of school?
Well, I play both piano and violin, so I really like music-related stuff. Yes, ma'am.
Nice. Have you been playing since you were a kid?
Yes, ma'am. I started playing piano when I was about 7 years old, and violin when I was about 8 years old.
Nice. Is that something you want to do professionally or just for fun?
No, ma'am, just for fun. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, cool. And then you are in high school, so are you
Yes,
going to college next year?
yes, ma'am.
Do you know where?
Well, right now, not really, but I've applied to schools yet. I'm just waiting to hear back from some of them.
Nice, nice. And then you currently live in
In
what?
Texas.
Nice. Okay, so do you want to leave Texas or would you like to stay home?
For now, stay home. Maybe whenever I get a job and a stable income, maybe I'll go out and travel the world. But right now, just stay in Texas would be good.
Nice, nice. Okay, what do you feel like is an accomplishment, extracurricular activity, personal project that you've worked on that you're really proud of, and why is it important to you?
A personal project that I've worked on or accomplishment you said.
Yeah.
Um, I'll probably just say learning languages because I started off as an ESL kid at home. I was learning Chinese, and then at school I was going and learning English. So at first I kind of struggled with learning two languages at once, especially as a kid. But as I got older, that kind of motivated me. Especially here in Texas, we have a lot of Hispanic people, so I started picking up Spanish and just other languages and cultures that I encountered in my daily life.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's really learning languages has been something that's I've been motivated by, especially
Yeah.
from a young age.
That's really cool. I was also an ESL kid myself, but it was Arabic to English,
Oh,
which was a really big transition, but um we love ESL. We do. Um, okay, so in terms of like, you know, having to go from, learning a language at home to having to familiarize yourself with the like dominant language in your area,
mhm.
what is like a piece of advice that you would give someone who's kind of struggling with that?
I would probably just tell them to be disciplined. I feel like a lot of people, whenever they struggle with something, they give up. But if you just keep being determined and push through every day, it's something you can really work on, and eventually you'll get good at it, at
Yeah.
whatever you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, perfect piece of advice. Okay, so currently you're in high school and then you want to go study. Do you have, like a area in which you want to study in, like major wise?
Yes, ma'am. I want to do some field of engineering, but there's a lot of different types of engineering, so I haven't discerned which one yet, but I'm
Okay,
looking forward
cool.
to it.
Perfect. Okay, so in your definition, what do you feel like education means to you personally?
Education it means a lot of things, but to me it just means learning new information and just being able to teach people information as well as someone also being taught information. So it's
Mhm.
just the passage of information, really. I think
Perfect.
that's what it means to me.
Do you feel like there's a subject or skill that should be taught in schools that isn't?
Um, well, I think it depends on where you're at. Like from my school personally, there's a lot of things that aren't taught because we're a more rural area. So there's a lot
Okay.
of things that could be offered, but I think for maybe some larger urban areas, maybe they do have more courses and things are there's more variety in their coursework. But I think for me personally, maybe like culinary. Like I
Oh,
feel like cooking is a very important life skill.
yeah.
Yeah, I think we only have one culinary class, and that's not taught on our campus at all. It's taught through the college campus. So I think it'd be more beneficial to the students if they had like a sort of beginner's class for cooking.
Hmm. Yeah, no, that'd be nice, especially because like, a lot of you go off to college and dorm life is hard.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, okay. Tell me about someone who you feel like has left a large impact on your life and why.
Yeah, so someone that's left a large impact on my life is probably my mom. Um, she just has a lot of like unwavering support and determination, especially because she doesn't have a college degree,
Mhm.
and so. But even without having a college degree, she still taught me so many life lessons that are valuable to me, and like she's always telling me like, oh, you need to go pursue your education or else you'll be stuck like me working three jobs and not having any time for your family and so she's always encouraging me to pursue my education, and that's really left a big impact on my life, and it's helped me shape my life choices and also kind of develop a like an understanding of the world.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be my mom.
That's a great role model to have. Um, okay. Do you feel like there's a cause or a social issue that you're really passionate about?
A cause or a social issue. Um, I would probably have to say, um, is it maybe this is kind of a strange one, but maybe electric vehicles. I feel like
Ooh.
electric vehicles are people often think that they're like a good thing, but my opinion on them, because I did a research paper over this in high school, and I was really researching the pollution and how they make the batteries for the electric vehicles. And after a while, I figured out they're kind of deceptive in a way. Like people think they're environment friendly, but actually, in the process of making them, you're causing just as much, if not more, pollution. So I feel like
Hmm.
that's a cause that not a lot of people think about, but it's kind of something I'm passionate about.
Do you feel like, hot take, like, is gas equally as bad? Because I know
Um,
gas vehicles are bad too.
uh, I don't know, equally as bad. I guess I'd probably have to do more research on that, but
Yeah,
yeah, both of them are not good for the environment.
right. Is there I'm asking for personal, like, do you feel like there's an alternative, or are we just like, cooked?
I'm sure they'll find an alternative, but I don't know. They don't have a good one yet.
Yeah, yeah. We can't use water.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, okay. Um, what do you feel like is a challenge that you've had to work through, and how do you feel like it shaped you to who I'm speaking to today?
A challenge that I've had to work through would probably be just growing up in a rural town. Like people don't, I guess people have lower expectations of rural areas, but when it comes to any sort of like if I'm doing a competition or if I'm going somewhere outside of my community, where I have to represent them some way, I have to make sure that people know where I'm from and how I represent my community is very important to me. So
Mm,
I feel like that's
yeah.
a big obstacle.
What do you feel like is like a piece of advice that you would give to someone also growing up in a rural area that's trying to navigate that challenge?
Um, I would probably tell them to prioritize their academics first because I feel like people often think rural area students aren't as intelligent as some of the urban area students, and I'm not saying that urban students are not intelligent.
Oh yeah.
Students everywhere are intelligent, but I think the stereotype is that people out here in the rural areas and the country areas are not as smart or not given as many opportunities, and I feel like I had to go out there and prove that it's not exactly true to the stereotype.
Yeah. No, that's wonderful. Um, okay. So have you been applying to like a lot of scholarships and like different like things where you have to, well, obviously you did your college applications,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
personal statements. Do you feel like in a standard application where you have to, present your GPA and you have to write an essay with, you get so many words, like 500, not a lot. What do you feel like usually gets left out that, you feel like encompasses you that you wish could be, seen more? Like through, when someone's looking at your application, what do you feel like you want them to see that usually they don't see?
Um, I kind of want them to see like leadership qualities, I guess. Like I know that I try to apply for as many scholarships and everything as possible, and I always try to like put out any sort of like leadership roles that I have and everything. And I guess it's I put it in the scholarships, but they don't actually see what I'm actually doing out there, or how I'm actually leading like members of different organizations and stuff. So I feel like words couldn't do my like words couldn't describe how much. effort I've been putting into all leading all these different organizations and stuff.
Yeah. Do you care to share like what type of organizations you lead?
Yeah, so I'm a concert master at my local youth symphony orchestra. Yeah, and so part of my responsibility is just to make sure that all the young musicians are on the same page. You know, for the string musicians, they're doing the same bowings, or just helping convey a message from the music director to other members of the orchestra.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I'm the president of our NHS chapter, and so you know we
What
have
is that?
different NHS National Honor Society.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so you know we host different school events. We hosted the homecoming party this year, so you know there's a lot of things involved in that. You know, arranging committees for venue setup and different things like that, or cleaning up after the party, providing food. You know, all these committees have to be organized. So it's a big
Is that
responsibility.
different? Is that different from ASB?
I don't know what ASB is, so
Oh, it's associate student body or something. Um, I guess that's just like it's maybe that's just a California thing, sorry. Um, well, no, that's amazing that you're so young, you're only 17 and you get kind of that grasp of what it takes to be a leader and like a good one at that. And it's also very interesting that you kind of get to have so many different like scopes of life. Like there's music, there's science, there's,
yes,
like
ma'am.
there's what?
Oh, I was just saying yes, ma'am.
Oh yeah, yeah. Which is very interesting and I feel like you don't really get to see that often. Um, is there a specific reason as to why you felt like you didn't want to pursue music long term?
Um, Not really. I feel like my passion would be more towards engineering. I feel like that's where I can help people best and
Hmm.
my future endeavors and everything. So
Yeah. I mean, and it's always nice to have, like a special talent.
right, yeah,
Yeah. Do you feel like there's anything else you want to share? Because that was my last question.
yeah.
But
I
if you
did
had
go
some.
to this camp called Texas Boys State,
Hmm.
and it's where it's one of the largest leadership camps in Texas, and the VFW Veterans of Foreign Wars, they select you, and then from there your application will be thrown with like thousands of other boys across Texas, and you go there, and you basically get to run like a mock government, specifically of the Texas government. So we had like 1,000 boys there, and you can imagine there was like two parties, and you're roomed with people from different parties, so you don't have the same like political values as them.
Yeah.
And so, but at the end of the day, you're still grouped together with them, even if you don't have the same political values.
Hmm.
And you're running a Texas government, and the adults there are very hands off. Like sometimes you can have the most serious elections where people are like doing research for hours, like talking about their politics and stuff like that. And then sometimes like we just had elections where we just voted people just based on like the video games or something, like what games they
What?
liked. So it was very it was a very informative experience about just my like civic duties as a citizen and politics and government and all that. And we got to actually meet like every day they brought in a different government official to come speak to us and inspire us about like leadership roles and everything. So it's a very formative experience for me seeing just how the government works and seeing it in person as well as being involved in it.
That's very, so that, was that like an application thing? Like only a few got picked or like a number got.
Uh, yes, ma'am. So I think normally they have smaller numbers, but this year they had so many applicants. It was actually the largest Texas Boys State
Oh,
leadership camp that they'd have, and they even have this thing that because it's hosted at UT, like the U
oh, okay.
Austin, their campus, and so that's just a couple miles down from the Capitol. And so on the last day, they have like a march down like Main Street to the Capitol, and it was pretty crazy. Like you can imagine yourself with 1,000 other boys just like walking in the street, stopping traffic, and going
Yeah.
to the Capitol and meeting all the politicians there and everything.
What do you feel like is the one thing, like obviously you took more than one thing out of it, but what do you feel like is the best thing that you took out of that experience?
I'll probably say I learned how to make friends. Like all of us that were in that group together, like we have a group chat. We still talk every once in a while. Like we still text each other, and
Yeah.
we had like a really like it was a really bonding experience. Just like because it was only a week long camp, but like debating against these people and having politics against them, like you would think it would make you more like more against them, but it actually, it made you bond stronger with them. Like we became very close friends after that.
Yeah. No, it's nice that you got to have that experience because I think, like you made friends, but it was like you made friends with people who had like opposing opinions as you, and I think that's way harder to do than
Right.
people who have similar opinions as you. So that is a very good thing to take away from that.
Hmm.
I'm glad you shared that because that's really amazing. I'm
Yes,
really happy
ma'am.
that you had that experience. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
Um, no, ma'am. I think that's everything.
Perfect. Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, Vincent. I hope you
Yes, ma'am.
enjoyed this type of kind of interview. I know that it's not traditional,
Yes,
um,
ma'am.
but I hope you
Very
enjoyed it
unique.
nonetheless. Thank you. We try. Hey YouTube! If you enjoyed this person's story, don't forget to subscribe below to hear more from our inspiring youth. If you want to apply for our Storyteller Scholarship or get more involved in our organization, click the link below to apply. Thanks for watching!